stream. I've really made a few crucial errors today. Today is going to be just a writing session because I'm kind of not ready for I'm kind of not prepared. Everything's a mess today. I'm kind of not prepared for the world building session, and it was entirely my fault because we just had a long holiday, and I did think that I would be prepared today, but just in terms of getting resources and all sorts of things, I haven't been able to get anything today. And I was really surprised because I thought coming back from a long weekend, I would be more prepared, and I am just in the most chaotic space today. Hi, Atomic Elf. So I will do the world building tomorrow now, and then there'll be another live stream on Friday. But I will do the world building tomorrow now, not today. I'm so sorry about that, but it's absolutely chaotic because so I'm currently in Budapest, and there was a 4-day weekend. So Friday for me was a very short day because I only talked about 2 hours in the morning. Then Saturday, Sunday was the weekend. Then Monday and Tuesday were both days off. And I thought today I would hit the ground running, and I didn't. I was behind on everything. It was so ridiculous. But I think I probably got too comfortable during the weekend, and I just forgot to plan what I needed to. So today is just going to be a writing session, and I've got my glasses all over the place today. I hope you're doing well, whoever's on the live, and I hope you're doing well. I'm doing amazingly. I'm trying to get my glasses right. My glasses are being held hostage by. I always do this. I always wrap everything up so tight. Yeah. So this is now a hostage situation now. And I hope lots of writing has been done over the last few days. And I wonder if anyone's looking forward to autumn and winter, because I sort of prefer them in terms of writing seasons. I think ideas just come more easily, you know. Yes, I need a case. I do have a case, but I don't use it. I don't use it. I'm just I'm too chaotic for that sort of thing. Because I don't actually need my glasses when I'm out and about, so I tend to, because my glasses are mostly for driving at night time, so I tend to not use them much, which is good, I suppose. Alright, do you plan in advance for world building to know what you want to build? I sometimes do. Today I actually had an image I'd constructed that I wanted to do some world building around, but unfortunately I printed it off and I left it on the printer at work, which is why I don't have it. So the world building for that character is actually going to be tomorrow now. So today will just be a writing stream. Okay, I know you guys always have stories you want to write and projects you want to work on. So I just thought today we'd just do a writing stream and then do the world building tomorrow. Sorry about that. I've literally just realised that I left it all on the printer at work. So my lovely colleagues will see a very strange image of a witch. But they're used to my chaos anyway, so it's fine. Okay. So today's just going to be a writing stream. With the world building videos, just to answer the question properly, actually, I don't always plan. I just have an image in my head, and I come in with that image, and then I build around it. But it always starts with just an image. You don't really need much to world build, even on a live stream. All you need is an image. The image could be of a pen, and then you just start working from there. Like, for example, if I was going to world build around this pen, I would instantly imagine a room. Who's in the room? Is it a man or a woman? What does he look like? What does she look like? What are they doing with the pen? Is the pen just lying next to them? If the pen is just on the table next to them, then are they speaking to someone? What are they doing? What's happening in the room? And they just go on from there. And it's like climbing a staircase, just taking one step at a time. That's how world building is for me. So I think I do find it fairly easy to do. And obviously, if anyone has any questions, please just ask away. And then I will schedule a writing live stream for tomorrow. Oh, for me, okay. Do you tend to start with the characters and a story idea and build the world around that? Or start with an interesting world and let that generate ideas? Oh, that's a complex one. So when I wrote the dwellers beneath the arches, and there's actually a video coming out about this, I instantly thought underground world. That's the first thing that came to my head. But I think as a kid, I was very fascinated with the idea of an underground world. It was nothing dystopian or science fiction, like, it was more from a fantasy point of view. So something I was always fascinated by, so I just thought underground world. And I think for me, it starts with a little word. And then with Heathens, I'm just trying to think. When I first thought about Heathens, I think the first thing I thought was blood magic. And I think that, yeah, I thought blood magic, and then I thought, okay, and you start building a concept and a world around the idea of blood magic. So for me, a lot of my books have started with a phrase I've had in my head, if you understand what I'm trying to say. It hasn't been like anything grand with a world it's just been a phrase. So underground world and blood magic. And there's a series I started a few years ago. I haven't finished it yet. That is in the back burner, way back in the back burner, because I've got to finish Heathens and I've got to finish the Dwellers series, which runs parallel to the Dwellers in 17th century, in Victorian England. And with this other series that's so far away, I was walking in the park in London, in Richmond Park, and I got to a part of the park where the trees had completely lost all their leaves, and it looked very dry and barren, and it had a very strange, eerie look to it. And that gave me an idea for the story I started writing back then as well. So it's just different things that will, and then you start to world build around that little concept. So I think world building can start from something very minute and very small. But and I know it sounds very like holistic and very I know it sounds very holistic and very wishy-washy, I suppose, but you have to be in a position to let the idea come, you know, because I think as adults, we're always fighting these ideas. We're always trying to control what we think and what we feel, rather than just, yeah. So a concept or idea first, yeah. And then the world and character. Yeah, for me, I think it's always been the concept or idea first, and then the world follows after. But once you have that concept or idea, it's very easy to start building that world. But that's been easy for me. But I think I have a very unrestricted way of thinking. And I think that I have a very childlike way of thinking as well. So I think that does help quite a bit. Yeah. And I think that when people world build and try and write stories, they overcomplicate everything. And that's where the problems begin. Because when you overcomplicate everything, you're not in a state of flow where the ideas are just coming. You're trying to make your ideas fit into a mold rather than just letting the ideas flow. If you understand what I mean. I might be talking absolute garbage, but... Right, looking for a little Word document. Excuse me one moment, I need to grab my little keyboard. So once again, it's just going to be a writing session today because I completely sort of messed up the I forgot some documents that I was supposed to bring in with me for the world building. But I will do the world building tomorrow, and if anyone misses the live tomorrow, then you can just rewatch it later on, okay? But I do apologise about that. It's been a very chaotic day today, but that has been my fault. All the chaos has been my fault. Yeah, I know, I do know people who actually have a character and they like this character, but it's so interesting. I think we're all so different. I've never ever started with a character first. It's always been with a little concept, and then that's how I build everything around that. So I know like a lot of the thriller writers, especially the really big ones, they have these characters that they sort of create. But I don't know, I can't work like that. I know some people actually sit down and create a character. I can't sit down and create a character. and I think maybe that's just my disorganized thinking. But I just have an idea for, oh, like with this, you see this on a, so this is a little hairband, you see it on a street corner or on the ground in a park. And just by, with this, you can world build around it. And I find this easier. I find it easier to world build around a little object or a stain on the wall or a drop of blood than to sit down and create a character. The character comes after I have the idea or I have the little clue. And then I can build the character after that. But not before. I just find it impossible. And the dwellers, like, with the dwellers beneath the arches, it was the same thing. It was underground world first, and then from the idea of underground world, I thought, okay, maybe I'll call them the dwellers, and then from the dwellers, I thought, okay, well, Asher, Jonathan, Sarah, and then they became part of the book, and they all came one after the other because when I started writing her, she shows up. So the way the book starts is it starts with a prequel, like a little prologue. And then it starts, she comes in first. And then as I'm writing her, I have not thought about Sarah because this wasn't plotted. It was just written. So by the time I started writing her and I haven't started thinking about her. And as I'm stopped writing her, I think actually, why don't I bring a friend in and I just pop him in? And that's... But it's interesting because although I wrote this without much planning, it actually worked out really well. It's a really great story. Well, according to the readers, but yeah. And I mean, with Coates, so when I wrote Coates, I wrote this when I was walking in the woods. So it's a series of 3 books. So oh dear, that was a big fall. So there's Coates, there's Black Coates, there's The Fall of the Reds. Show my fingers. The Fall of the Reds. And then there is My Brother's Keeper. And this is not a fantasy series. This is a dark academia series. But when I wrote this, I was walking in the woods. I was walking in the woods every day for about 3 months. And I would just take out my little voice recorder. I had like the dictaphone. I would take my dictaphone out and I just record. I'd record, and that's how I wrote that series, Codes. And so I tend to favour the what if story seed because it tends to go in unique directions. Yes, I was so I've been speaking to a few people, and what I'm going to do is have writing sessions which are a bit more organised, where there is a prompt at the start of the writing session, and then we have to follow that prompt and see what stories we come up with. But yeah, this is supposed to be very interesting. I don't normally write like that, but I think it would be interesting to see where that takes me, if you know what I mean. But it's very interesting how we all have such different methods of writing. It's really, really fascinating. And if anyone wants to share what they're working on, what they're writing, please do share it. Oh yeah, I'm also getting a little hourglass as well to time the writing sessions. I need to write that down. Get hourglass. I've wanted a new one for ages. Yes, I had the most beautiful one in London, but it's in London and it's in London. So I'm not going to fly to London to pick up an hourglass that's in storage. And we don't know where it is. It could be in storage or it could be in a family home, but we don't know where it is. And I'm not chasing an hourglass around. So instead, I'm just going to get one online. I have my eye on a few. I hope they work properly, but I think it'll be fun. I just prefer, rather than timers, I prefer strange, archaic things like that, you know. And I think it'll be good for the writing sessions. And I think the more you have phones timing your sessions, the more you're likely to get distracted by the phones as well. Ah, your sci-fi series. Which one was that? I'm not sure if you've mentioned the sci-fi series you're working on. That is, if you want to talk about it. If you don't, that's perfectly fine. I understand. It started off out as a book, then grew to a trilogy. Now planned as a 5-book series. Sometimes it feels like biting off too much, but still enjoying it. I think the important thing is you're enjoying it and it doesn't feel like a chore. I think if it starts to feel like a chore, you're working too hard, then you have to think about, what you're doing and are you working in the right way, if you see what I mean. But as long as you're enjoying it, you have to enjoy the process because that's what will keep you going. You do have to enjoy the process, definitely. It's about a woodsman who works with his father cutting down trees on a planet that doesn't allow much technology. They live on a space station half the time in between trips to the planet's surface. He dreams of something bigger, owning his own ship and becoming an interplanetary trader. Wow, so you're just creating a world in space. That's pretty cool. But you see, that's the beauty of writing. I would never have an idea like that. I would never, ever in 100 years have an idea like that. And I'll never forget someone talking about an airport where a magical airport of some sort, and that just sounded fascinating as well. But once again, that's an idea I could never have. So I think it's just interesting to see how all these different ideas just come into being, because I would never have thought about writing anything in outer space. One day he finds a strange stone sphere inside a hollow inside a tree he cuts down. That sounds like sci-fi fantasy. Is a sci-fi fantasy a thing? I don't know. But yeah, this is amazing because I think it just shows you how people come up with all these different ideas. And yeah, there you go. That's the beauty of writing and just being creative. Yeah, I think I've heard of sci-fi fantasy, but um, I've never actually. I've heard of it, and I think that's such an amazing genre because like, how do you combine sci-fi and fantasy? I mean, in my head, sci-fi and fantasy is like chalk and cheese. It's like oil and water. It's just interesting how people's brains come up with all these concepts. Because to me, these are two very different, but I would never think to put them together. And I think that's the beauty of it all. This is supposed to be. This music is a bit weird. No, no, no. What is this 80s music? Okay, I'm going to stop there for today because I don't want to overdo. Oh no, hang on. Why shouldn't it autosave? I'm going to leave it. I don't know what's going on there. I'm going to stop there and I'm going to continue. So I'll be back tomorrow at the same time for the world building. I'm sorry today wasn't a world building, but I'll be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. GMT, I believe. Right, 7 p.m. GMT for the live session, and I will be creating some new characters that I've thought about and world building around them tomorrow. So that should be quite fun. So I will see you tomorrow, and I'll be sure to schedule the live stream as well for tomorrow. So I will definitely be there. Right, have a lovely evening for anyone who's still here. Have a good night, Atomic Elf. See you tomorrow. Bye. I